The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, and his running mate, Senator Datti Baba-Ahmed, have today released their manifesto. Well, Mr. Obi made the announcement of the publication of the manifesto on his Twitter handle. He unveiled the 72-page manifesto, which he titled, "It is Possible, a Pact with Nigerians." Apart from the manifesto tonight, we shall be engaging, my guest tonight, on the issues that have been raised in the campaign so far and some of the internal controversies within the Labour Party that we have seen lately, and also issues relating to what the Obi Datti has to offer Nigerians. Tonight, I'm being joined by the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Senator Datti Baba-Ahmed. He's live with me here in Abuja studio. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hi, Sean.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting now that it was first a 62-page document. Now
72.
No, it was the earlier one that was pulled out. Now this is 72-page that has been.
We're
released.
only getting better by the day.
What happened that it was pulled out?
No, it's more of what happened that it was released before time. It was never pulled out. Some people had undue interest on it. They couldn't even wait for us to release it to make unnecessary comment. So they pulled it out before we even released it. We never pulled back. Yeah.
So it's more or less the same, or it's from what we've seen, a few changes here and there. Pictures have been seen. Some of the
nearly everything printed is a living document, of course, except the Holy Scriptures. Our Constitution is a living document. It will continue to be reviewed. So there is no document that you can say from day one, the very first draft, is absolutely ready to go. It wasn't ready to go. We hadn't finished. And there was just this heavy interest in it. They're just looking for all sorts of faults against Labour Party. I don't know what we have become. But I have an idea of what we've become. That there's so much keen interest on every little thing we do.
But it was released
and we don't do. No, it wasn't released.
Okay.
It was pulled without our consent.
On the party's website?
Yeah.
What is going on?
That's the old one you're talking about.
Yeah, the old one. Yeah. What's going on in your party? There seems to be...
Our party, what's going on is there is a smooth running of a very successful campaign going on in our party.
But you've had a very rough internal, runnings in the past days. Recently, from Ogun State, your party DG
That's what suspended. I call smooth. That's what I call smooth. This is a party from in June. You hardly hear of it. By September, all over the world, it is the party for Nigeria. What do you expect? There would be a lot of interest, and the problems of size would set in.
So are you saying
even at that, I will call it very smooth. We're smoothly riding to success.
Are you saying that there are fifth columnists in your party?
Absolutely.
How do you get rid? How can you win an election with these elements?
They are not adding up to anything. The party is moving. You see, there is no point throwing pebbles at an elephant working. You've heard that before. These are not even pebbles. They are throwing cotton at an elephant, charging.
With what
the Ogun State saga, we're walking straight on. We're not feeling it at all. Every little thing they do, we just smile, and it only makes us stronger. We keep moving. There's no stopping us.
What do you think is behind the Ogun saga?
I'm not one to go into speculations. You know me, Sean. I only speak where I have facts and evidence.
So there are a few issues that have been raised from that saga, one of which include that has touched on the integrity of what you and your principal, Mr. Peter Obi, stand for. It's popularly said that you don't give shishi in the local parlance. That's what you've said internally in the Labour Party, meaning that you really don't give money in your political running. I mean, but now it's come out that, in fact, there are allegations that towards your rally in the Southwest, there were plans to put money, and there were plans that money were going to be used. And a lot of people have raised the question. It's partly far away from what your party and yourself and your candidate have said about the manner in which you want to run the campaign.
Right. A campaign is like a huge party. But this one is not social, it's not personal, it's political, it's societal, it's national. It requires you to bring people from the comfort of their residences out, and you need to secure them along the way. You need to secure them where they are. You need to secure them when going back. It's a huge logistical challenge, bringing upwards of 50,000 people anywhere. You wouldn't want to leave that to any NGO or any support group. We rise to the responsibility. We're responsible for those. So renting the venue, the audio-visual, the power, the sanitation, people going around to ease themselves. Do you understand? A little entertainment, security, first aid, transport to and fro, putting eyes on the road from where the people are coming to all the way until they get back, until the last person gets home and we get a call that everybody has reached home safely. Then are we sure that the rally was successful? And then you guys are not cheap. The media is not cheap. We need to be reported live throughout on all possible channels. Now, there is no contradiction whatsoever. Don't bring our personal lives to political lives, even though it is us as persons that are aspiring to lead Nigeria. Okay? Yes, when we say we don't give shishi, it's not like a real slogan we want to be identified with. They're just trying to stick it on us, set us against Nigerians like they do many, many times. Peter Obi has a number of foundations. I have a foundation. I give zakat just last week, and it's Islamic. You must do that. I have corporate social responsibility. He does. We have people we take care of, but we don't announce it at all. Scholarships, medical, many, many things I just don't have to say.
So it's not true that you don't give shishi?
No, we have corporate social responsibility. It depends on what you define as shishi. Look, Peter Obi is a very successful businessman. He ranks among, though, you know, he doesn't say it, but I can, as his vice, as his subordinate, respectful one, take the gentle liberty to tell you that he ranks among the best in Nigeria.
In terms of?
In terms of everything you call it, Peter Obi ranks among them. He used to sit the same front row with Dangote, Ovia, Olumalu, and others. And then he said he's going to join politics. Why didn't the others join politics? It's not that they don't love Nigeria as much as he does, but he is putting it into practice. Same thing about me. I have my social responsibilities, which I'm living up to. We just don't have to say it. But what we don't do is, for example, to go about compromising public servants, compromising civic, citizens during their civic responsibilities, committing huge amounts of resources to the media to give a good person a bad name, to give a bad person a good name. We don't do those kind of things. We don't spend money to confuse Nigerians. We don't spend money to call white, black, black, white, daylight, nighttime, nighttime, daylight. We don't do those kind of things.
So you spend money to mobilize the supporters that come to the rally?
I don't know what you're trying to do, but politics is not easy. If we are putting an advert on channels TV and other Nigerian TV, yes, we are spending money to have our...
I'm not talking about television adverts.
Listen.
I'm talking about people coming to your...
We don't. No. Those we don't.
No, so those are the allegations made. That some of the supporters that traveled down were given sums of money before they could...
Absolutely not.
Before
we
they
don't.
could convert.
No, we don't do that.
And these, your
I
DG
can
have
tell
been
you.
dragged into it.
We don't do that.
Well, there's no budget for such things.
There's no budget for such thing.
And you will not do that.
We will not do it.
So because your party have said the crowd that follows Peter Obi and Datti have been organic. So the question how organic you are, because when the allegation, when a chieftain of the party had come from Ogun State to say, look, there is a bargain from about 10 million naira down to 5 million naira, then to about 4 million naira on how they hope to mobilize crowd to the rally. It then questions that organic template that your party says it's been following.
Our crowds are very genuine and very organic. About the only time, at least in this Fourth Republic, that we're seeing this phenomenon. Before INEC lifted the ban on rally activities, campaign activities, to be more precise, all Nigerian and international media reported tens of thousands. In the case of Abuja, probably 100,000 crowd, strong crowd, on their own, coming out to do that. We don't have a subhead or a budget for what you're saying. We don't. Our crowds are very, very organic. But like I said, we keep an eye on the road, to and fro. Everything to appreciate the gesture, ensure their safety and comfort, we will responsibly do and continue to do.
Your donation, I see that you publicizing it these days. How far is that going?
Donations?
Yeah.
Receive inwards.
Yeah, you publicize some accounts for people to donate to your campaign.
Yes. These are information available on our website, and right now I have been overwhelmed with other more important... I'm not really into that collection.
But you know that some people are giving your party some money.
It is natural.
Are you getting monies from outside of the country?
That I don't know at this moment. I don't know that.
How much of support are you getting from the private sector in terms of funding?
Again, that I'm not so conversant with, because Labour Party is a huge organism now. We have very specific roles that we respect, and I'm one that I respect my boundaries. I've been given very specific assignments, particularly in the north. I'm concentrating on that. We have the finance, we have the mobilization. Shaun, invite them and talk to them.
What area is what area do you cover in the campaign?
I cover, of course, strategy. I'm involved in strategy. I'm involved in general purpose, and I'm particularly involved in northern votes.
How much of energy do you think you possess to solicit those kind of votes from the north?
All the energy that I have, and probably a half.
That's perhaps, yeah, that's perhaps...
All the energy that I have is going into that.
For those who have analyzed your party, that is perhaps the weak link that people have characterized the strength of the Labour Party.
And that is again the green area that is making the huge difference, because North Central, except Niger State, which we are now working on, most of North Central is Labour. And well, look, Shaun, you're so clever, you're not going to get me to say some of our campaign secrets here.
No, but I mean, I've had discussions with other political parties and their
Let me just tell you, I have demolished all the roadblocks they set up in the north. It was mainly about the lies they told about the personality of Peter Obi. Now he is clean, clear. They embrace him in the north. We went to Kano, we went to Kaduna, we've been to Bauchi. And ahead of him, I've been to 13 states ahead of Peter Obi just to prepare the ground. The youth in particular in the north are excited to meet Obi when the time comes. Women, traders, farmers, especially with the promise that his slogan of Nigeria's greatest physical asset is the vast rich land in the north. Now, I'm going to come down a little, okay, and speak in Nigerian parlance. To hear an Igbo man, a businessman for that matter, telling you that he has seen an opportunity in the fertile land in the north, you know business is about to happen. And it so happened that he said it so well. Farmers in the north have realized, and they are welcoming this. He added that by saying that there is going to be back of agriculture revived, revitalized, recapitalized for that. So northerners are eagerly awaiting the coming of Peter Obi. He's a man who means business. His records show that.
I mean, there being an analysis and permutations as much as the fact that this election might not end on the first ballot. And Peter Obi, anytime these calculations are being made, has not been drawn into the calculation of whether or not he might be head-to-head with any political party in the first ballot. They say, according to experts, that, look, the first ballot might be between Tinubu and Atiku.
I don't know who you're listening to. You're probably listening to their own personal Twitter and Facebook pages. But if you are listening to,
if you may allow me on the question that I'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
So the permutation has been that the election might not end on the first ballot, and the calculations have not included in those who are the school of thought that Peter Obi might not be included, or that the election might not end in the first ballot. Now, in their calculation is the fact that Labour Party and Peter Obi and Obi Datti will erode some of the PDP votes in some part of the country. And
you see, that's I knew where you're heading.
Let me just land on that thought. So that you have eroded successfully into the votes and traditionally the PDP has always had, and that it will be a bit difficult for you to be able to have a stronghold in the northwestern region of the country where you are from. That is your own base. Now the question is, how much of inroad have you made in the so-called traditional or the untraditional Labour Party terrain?
Your questions are two, so I'll start from the beginning.
Absolutely. Go ahead, please.
It is more than a road. And again, let me repeat that. I don't know what scripts you have been reading. You have been reading and accepting maybe the little posts that abound. If you're reading responsible international media, CNN, Bloomberg, Financial Times, The Economist International, you will get a completely different perspective. Fact. Next question you asked is more than a road. The traditional stronghold of PDP used to be the Southeast, which doesn't exist for them anymore. South-South doesn't exist for them anymore. North Central, about 90% of it does not exist anymore for the PDP. And then in the Northeast, we're looking at 35% of Adamawa, 25 to 28% of Gombe. In Kaduna, we're looking at a possible win. In Kano, we're looking at comfortable 25%. In Niger, comfortable 25%. Okay? Then the other 8 states that were challenged, we are right now, like I told you, demolishing all the negative campaigns they did about Peter Obi, because that was all about it. Paint him black, which when they are successfully, like I said before, I turned the barrel of the gun against the firer of that gun. The 4 issues completely crashed, failed eroded, impeached. No one listens to that anymore.
What are those issues?
The wearing of ID card, demolition of mosques, deportation of northerners, and ethnic violence. All of them added up to 0. And the thing about northerners is that if you lie to northerners and they find out, you are a void. That void is going to be filled. I have told you PDP now exists only in Atiku's palaces. As for APC, okay, the power of incumbency, the chairman himself has told Nigerians to go and vote the candidate of their choice. What an irony. Clearly, it's in the print. I'm not lying about it. I'm not suggesting he said this, you covered it. It's in the news everywhere.
Making reference to the president.
Exactly. He said Nigerians should go and vote. And then in the UNGA, he says about the only legacy he can leave is a credible election. Now, this is heartbreak for APC. Who made Buhari after Almighty Allah? Tinubu. All the failed attempts, Tinubu came and added his 3 million and made Buhari for 8 years now. Who is going to unmake Tinubu after all his political successes? Buhari. Because Buhari has finished, if you like, take it or leave it, he has finished his 8 years. His immediate and extended, I won't add any word after that, have made what they will make for life. He doesn't need anything. It is not about how well Nigeria was run or how bad Nigeria was run. They have finished with Nigeria. They have finished with everybody. Tinubu can go to blazes. It means nothing to Buhari. And that is Buhari for
That is the reading you are seeing of the APC right now?
Absolutely. Now, let me finish your answer. Let me finish giving you the answers. In the case of PDP, I have given you their traditional strongholds which don't exist. In the case of APC, I'm going to tell you about campaign promises that have more than failed. Security, that they took the government away from PDP and President Jonathan handed over to them. Security is now a concern for the entire African region. Security of Nigeria is complete failure. Economy, with the dollar now reaching 800 and coming back down to 750, on and on and on. We're already seeing the long fuel queues. Petroleum products are going to increase, okay? Security is going to I pray not, but all set to go bad. We're not going to forget the 8 months of ASU strike. We'll continue to remind Nigerians. Corruption. Shehu, are you with me?
Absolutely, I'm listening.
Corruption. We're going to continue to remind Nigerians the untold corruption that has happened right under Buhari's watch. Human rights abuses, like the gentleman boy who was just returned to school yesterday for simply expressing his democratic views about corruption. APC is as good as gone. PDP's votes do not exist. There is only one political party genuinely standing, Labour Party. I don't know the texts you are reading, the scripts you are reading, but for whoever can feel and be honest, to data, go out in the markets, go out in every public space and find out the pain in the bodies and hearts of Nigerians is what is going to their thumb in February.
So, it's interesting that you have made reference to international media. I don't know how much you respect international media to those of us who have worked all our years and lives here, and some of those of us who actually they get some of their information from. But the question is, I made a reference to the school of thought. Anybody can hold any view about how elections can pan out. It's anybody's view. So those are permutations, like I made reference to them. But you have come ahead also in several polls. And polls could go either way. Either it goes well or it doesn't go well. But the question is, you have also been described as a party without structure or as a political force without real political structure. How much of structure would you say the Datti movement have garnered over the last few weeks?
Over the last few months, Joe, structure are people who are willing to genuinely work for a party. Structure is not the assembly of individuals to collect money kept for an election. Right now, what you see in APC and PDP is an assemblage of people who know that in the case of PDP, there is close to 2 trillion naira. In the case of PDP, maybe 500 billion. That money has to be collected.
What does the Labour Party have in its kitty?
Small, but enough, but adequate.
But you have enough.
We have enough to win this election. And it's legitimate, it is genuine, we can stand for it.
So those who underestimate that the Labour Party don't have the wherewithal, they're probably joking.
They are, of course, joking.
And
we are well resourced.
At the moment?
We have ever been resourced, believe me. We have never lacked anything to do genuinely what we are supposed to do. Anything that APC does, we can do. But ours is within our means that we can prove how we got everything that we're spending. The only thing is that we will not spend hundreds of billions compromising. We go to a book launch, for example. Peter Obi donates 5 million, genuinely, and he has 5 million to donate. I sweat and I donate 4 million. Somebody walks in late, arrogantly donates 100 million, and he walks out of the event. Somebody else is represented and he donates 50 million. You can see 20 times more, 10 times more. At the end of the day, we achieved greater applause, greater appreciation from that family, that with the little genuine money we have, we came here on time, respected them, sat down, did all the pleasantries, showed them human dignity and respect for the occasion. We are achieving with 5% what they are doing with 20 times. Remember, I defeated a 2-term governor and a Senate committee chairman on finance. He was far richer than me, even though they took it back from the court. I didn't outspend him at the polls. Labour Party is not going to outspend APC and PDP. But you spoke about structure, and I'm telling you there is no such thing as structure in both APC and PDP. It's a conflagration of people interested in collecting the monies they have kept. That money must be collected by somebody. You can't leave them to go get away with that money. Tinubu does not have enough days in his life to finish spending that money. Atiku does not have enough days in his life to spend all that money. So they need to spend it on 2023 elections. And people, if you have money to spend, they will collect it. That's it. They will tell you anything you want to hear. You're going to win. But in reality, if they ever had anything as a structure, they would have at least sorted one problem of Nigeria. Don't stop me, Shehu. Don't stop me.
No, we are doing
structure. What is the purpose of structure without governance? The purpose of any politics is to provide good governance. The purpose of that good governance is the security and prosperity of the nation. Where they failed, they didn't have structure. Only one party has a genuine structure in Nigeria, Labour. And I think Nigerians are continuously fed the wrong narratives hour by hour, and that's why these questions keep coming back to us. You don't have structure. These questions have to stop coming to us. They should ask APC, PDP, do you really have structure? That's the question to start answering, because Nigerians are good at repeating. The moment they hear something once, the tendency is to continue to reverberate it. And at this point, I'm saying that knock that away, bring up something that is not as uninteresting as continue to repeat the same thing. What is the interesting thing now? Does APC really have structure? No. Does PDP really have structure? No.
Let's quickly wrap up on the issue of the structure or no structure. So I was making reference to that. So for those, you have mentioned it yourself on the program to say, look, a party that was not as known, perhaps the most outstanding success that Labour Party has had will be Mimiko's election. Until the Datti came on board, the movement came on board. And so for a party as of June, like you mentioned, and later on, a few months later, I've gotten this kind of followership. So the question is, should you, because this race is about winning or losing, should you lose this election, would you guys try again?
Quite frankly, I'll tell you, we're not prepared to lose. It doesn't look like, no, there's no such thing as, if I know in life is either or. But I'm a realist. I'm working, because Nigeria has to be saved. Nigeria is not going to die. APC has thrown the chance away for rescuing Nigeria. PDP has proven its incapacity to do it from the way it ran its primaries. So I'm not going to bet, I'm not going to take any risks on Nigeria. There's only one way. We don't have a choice. It has to move in that direction. When you were saying that it might not be, first of all, we are always on the front burner. We're in the ballot among the top two. And your question about the election going to a rerun, it was simply what I was telling you just before we went on break. Our people have this natural tendency and urge to always repeat and overcirculate one little matter that they heard, and which is of a little interest to them. Read the statistics very well. Labour Party, as far as the polls are concerned, is a distant first. It is the squabble for the second and third position, and the amount of money these two parties have for creating untold mischief that is confusing Nigerians not to see the kind of gap that exists between us, the distant number one, and the second ones.
So you will win. That you are in this race to win, just like any other of your opponents.
Absolutely, we're in this.
So you are not ready for any anything other than not winning, because what has happened in history is that those who have been that extremely
Can I refresh your memory? Can I refresh your memory?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Buhari lost 3 elections. He was down to 1 governor. And APC didn't have until then, 80% of PDP moved into APC. And then they replicated the same government and misruled Nigeria for 8 years. There is nothing new, okay? It is about, you see, there's a war going on now. And it's about good Nigerians and bad leaders. Who is going to win? Good Nigerians have to defeat bad leaders, and they have to remove all political structures that have repeatedly been bringing bad leadership and sustaining bad leadership to Nigeria. That is the work actually going on now. That's the way to read it. Not anybody telling you that they have structure, when in reality they don't.
We may not have the time to dissect, because we have a special program for you to be able to dissect your manifesto. So we'll wait to that program.
That's very
where
good.
you will be able to dissect your manifesto. But this manifesto, it has been criticized. That is a copy. That is not original.
No.
Do you have an idea of anything that may look like, even from the title, there's someone who has used a similar title?
Possible?
Yes.
No, the possible is for Peter Obi. Possible. And if it's a capital O, capital P and a capital O, look at that. Look at it very well. We don't copy. Others copy us. We're afraid to talk. I, in particular, bring out your ideas Next 2-3 days, it's all over. They're already copying you and modifying it.
Why does it take so long?
There's little shame in plagiarism around here. This is the most genuine, most original document you can find in the 2023 elections.
Why did it take?
And that is why it took us so long.
Mr. Baba-Ahmed, why did it take too long for you, this long rather, to get this document out?
It is not too long, first. Two is that there were a lot of interruptions in the production of this document. For example, while it was still work in progress, we just find it online. We have to tell the whole world it is not the same one and give a safe distance in time. Sweep that away, make sure it has no more effect on the electorate before you release another one.
Now,
before you release the genuine one.
Can you, okay, so this is the final one which has been officially announced by you. So now the question is that you've made some very, very interesting and far-reaching policy statements in this 72-page document. So the question at the heart of it, for those who think that, look, these ideas are good, but how do you implement? Where would the money be coming from? Would your government be looking at borrowing more? Because the reality is that anyone who is going to take over this country as the next president or vice president, they would need to deal with the issues of our debt profile and how they need to also run the government and this country with money. But where would the money come from? The government has said that there is a revenue problem.
Thank you for acknowledging what we've been saying. Now, Nigeria beyond 2023 is not about what the leaders have been saying. It's about what the leaders can do and have done in the past. And so shall the elections be guided. It is not about what the people have said. The difference between us in Labour Party and others is, have we been able to deliver? Because talk is cheap, talk is easy. Listening is risky. Accepting what you listen to is dangerous. Let me come back to your answer. Like I've said before, once you have leaders that are not stealing your money, you're pulling people out of poverty. One. Two, we will extract best value for money spent, our procurement philosophy. Point number two. We will fully maximize all channels of revenue, like meet our OPEC quota, use technology and collect all internal revenue. That's point number three. Point number four, renegotiate loans, restructure where possible, and begin to pay off.
All right.
Point number four, I have all the answers for you. Unless if you don't have the time.
We don't have the time again. But I wanted us to keep the manifesto conversation to the day when we will have that time, and we have a special program.
We are loaded. We are loaded and ready to tell you and give you all. We're ready for this job. We're not the types who talk without a single clue of what is going on, and determination, full of determination too.
Thank you so much, Mr. Datti Baba-Ahmed, the Vice Presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Thank you so much indeed. I wish you the very best in the coming days.
Thank you, Shehu.
You will need all the luck.
Yes.
I wish you the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.